Randonautica, 6 months later. Is it still worth you downloading in 2020? 2021? Oh my god. Hello YouTubers out there, welcome back to Jordan YT, and this is going to be my review of Randonautica 6 months later. Now, for those who are new here and don't know what Randonautica is an app you can download on either the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Now, what the app essentially is a adventure app that you, either yourself or a bunch of your friends, go out on adventures with. What the app does, it generates random points of locations you either get to go and visit, and it's meant to kind of encourage that it's not all about the destination, it's more about the journey you undertake. So it's one of those app adventures you go out in real life and actually go to these points. So, however, the reason why I'm talking about Randonautica specifically is because it took a sort of dark twist. Now, of course, that was a great thing because honestly, people were actually finding the points, and honestly, so was I. I was actually finding pretty correct points. However, the reason why this app took off is because of its more darker intent and white male this dork right here, this white male protagonist decided to be like, death, destruction, here are our points, let's go find them. That's essentially how Randonautica took off. Is a lot of TikTokers, this is kind of where it originally came from, a lot of TikTokers decided to, hey, let's put scary intent and make a TikTok out of it. Now, of course, guess what? They were like, oh, this app is fake. And guess what? Sometimes I think they got fake ones, but most of the time they got scared, well, out of their pants pretty much. Now, it's definitely died down a bit. It did take a little bit for it to die down. I, of course, jumped onto it because honestly I was all about taking adventures and all the rest of it. And especially during a time in 2020 when everyone was locked inside the houses by their government and being suppressed with information. Fun and games. But yeah, Randonautica has definitely undergo some changes, and I reckon there's definitely been some changes that have affected how the points even generate in the first place. So let's go into it. So the first update, which was the one I think I'm very familiar with, pretty much you either select, I think it was 3 originally. It was an attractor, void, and there was a third one, attractor, void, tractor, which would pretty much, you have to go to that point specifically, like right on top of it. And void was more that once you get to your point, you got to do like more of a search around and look for what your intent was. Now, as a user, I pretty much came across about, I'd say a good 87% of my intent have been pretty much correct. 5% of those have been, they were kind of correct, but it was open for anticipation, and the rest of them weren't even spot on or pretty much were dead ends in a way. So in terms of Randonautica, my experience, yes, pretty much the intents I have said have either gotten extremely close and pretty much spot on. Now yes, there was some that were open for interpretation, however that was about you and what your mind could come up with what your intent was. Now, in terms of the app changes, the original one was probably the best one. I don't mind the new one, the recent update one. It's pretty alright, it's pretty smooth. It is definitely smoother than the first gen one, but I do prefer the first generation on how the UI layout was done. Now, during a short time, what I think really killed it was its second update. Its second update kind of turned it into a text-based interface, which personally I didn't like. I really didn't like. I kind of preferred, actually choosing my points through a couple of drop-down tiles. They're a lot more easier than the text-based one. I think that's where its actual dip in this popularity went from. Other than that, when the third update finally came around, the big UI change, it pretty much looked amazing. It is fantastic. Everything operates smooth. The shop actually works, which is great. Now, of course, the team behind it, they're still obviously added, like giving more updates. Recently, they've added in a news feature, and pretty much it's given them all the ability. Yeah, this pretty much came on the 2nd of the 2nd, 2021, and pretty much basically kind of like when they push little updates, that's why they update. You can read about them here. or you can pretty much see what else is going to come in the future. Something about Destiny 3.0, I'm not too sure what this is. As discussed, there was two parts around there, using quantum Ranonauts and a mind matter algorithm. So by the sounds of it, I guess they're tweaking how the algorithm finds different points via the attractors in the void, including like the different ways you can search for it, including I think what they're doing is they're tweaking the algorithm. Now, I think personally that recently in Randonauts, there's definitely been a dip in like quantum points. When I first started out, even with the second update and just rolling to the third update, points would be either exactly what I was looking for or what my intent was. Same thing with the void ones. Pretty much I had to go to that point, search around, and eventually I'd find my intent. Now, for the time being, I did use power to kind of cycle between both of them because it'll make it a lot easier and obviously find which one was the best one. However, slowly but surely, update after update, those points kind of became muddy. Like I either never found my points, and either I found places that I couldn't access to, such as private property, and just other general things, whether like my points would never really load or it consumed my token and never get a thing. So obviously there's been a few updates where it's kind of hindered the experience. However, the functionality of the app is still there. If you're going into Randonaut expecting the very hypey stuff and finding scary things, basically that Randonaut is dead. I don't think you can really find that anymore, or from what I've experienced, you can really get that. Now, does that mean the functionality of the app has gone? No, not at all. Basically, you can still obviously download the app today and go for an exciting time. Even if you weren't to do even if you weren't to think of an intent, if you just want a new place to explore outside in your hometown that you've never known about before, then this app really rocks at it. Like the accuracy of them and probably the ease of use of the app is absolutely fantastic. Know that you can even customize certain parameters to actually get more of a tailored experience, whether that be intent-wise or actually using the different point generators, which are coming out really soon with. But other than that, in terms of Randonaut, it's kind of dipped down in spooky quality or like accuracy quality. Do I recommend for you to download the app today? If anything, if you've been feeling locked up because of all the governments around the world, and if you want to get out with a couple of friends and explore your local area, I reckon like Randonautica is the best way to do it, honestly. Like there are definitely other apps out there, however, a lot of people have been getting variables with this. However, with Randonautica, pretty much you've got the entire internet that's been hype storming this, you've got the entire TikTok that's been hype storming this, and honestly, I'd honestly say, like, if any of my friends want to actually take out adventures, I'd tell them to download Randonaut because it's actually great. Now, how you actually get tokens is that you probably got to actually use the app every day to generate the new tokens that you get, or obviously if you want more tokens, you can buy them from the store with in-app transactions. That's totally up to you and how you feel about that, but just know that the tokens that you get from it, you do generate about 5 or 15 every day when you log into the app, so you've always got that. So you never really run out of tokens. However, if you want to go on more adventures, then obviously you might want to spend like maybe 10 or 15 bucks to actually get a couple more tokens, which I'm kind of a little about. I'm not really a fan of in-app purchases to hype the experience, but it's what you gotta do, man. I enjoyed it so much. Now, during the time, I reckon in its earliest app, it was like peak accuracy, peak intense. It was like the best app to actually go on these, either scary or different intentional adventures. If you want to give it as that, intentional adventures. If you wanted that, 1.0 was probably the best one. 2.0 was garbage. It wasn't good. Even then, I found that it was actually very less accurate. I tried it maybe about 5 times during the text-based update. Yikes, it was bad. Now 3.0 definitely fixed a lot of the things. However, I think it's a little bit more hearted, the update. As in, I don't think you'd still go on great adventures. However, you might not be able to get really specific points or specific intents as you do as 1.0. However, the app still functions well, doesn't lag my phone. Great build of it. fantastic. UI is very simple. It's not overly complicated, but you can read into it a little bit more to understand what they're really doing with it. Should you download this app? If you are a person that's looking to actually go outside, go on adventures, and whether it be with yourself, by yourself, or with a couple of friends, or you've basically lived in a town or a state that you pretty much have lived there for your entire life but never really explored, I reckon Randonauts is probably the best one. In terms of like accurate random generating points, it's pretty damn good, because I'm pretty sure you can tailor it to actually avoid waterways and actually get easier access to it as well. Even like if you're traveling somewhere and you want to explore, like maybe a holiday hotspot that you like to go to, like, I don't know, just anywhere, like maybe your favorite camping ground or like a beach somewhere. Basically, if you haven't really explored the area enough, Randonautica might actually, you know, assist you in going different places. So yeah, that concludes my review of Randonautica in 2021. Absolutely fantastic app. Maybe a few updates need to be pushed to it. However, I will be still using this app during 2021. I won't be using it as frequent because in the area, I think I've pretty much explored majority of the area in Seymour. There's not really much I can find besides properties and lockdown areas, which I really can't go into. As in lockdown properties, not like lockdown cities. Yeah, pretty much. I will be doing this in different places, such as Melbourne and other towns, so when I eventually get onto those videos, I will. But other than that, that is going to conclude my review of Randonautica. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please click the links in the annotation to more videos that I've done. Like, comment, and subscribe today. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!